welcome back to BTF and Dubs. Gazi, how are we doing today?
RONE, I am good, man. How are we? It's the
All
start of the
good.
weekend.
Yeah, it's the weekend. United's playing. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. The sun's out. It's not as hot as it's gonna be next week. So yeah, it's looking good. It's looking very, very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, man. How's everything been? It's been a minute. Not too long actually,
Not
but
too
it's been
long
a minute.
actually. We've been pretty good this week. Look, it's been a good week. Roll was good. We also chatted about it on our Summerstat. Well, we haven't chatted about it yet. We will do so.
Yep.
Um, Had a decent SmackDown. I wouldn't say good SmackDown. It was a decent SmackDown. I got some thoughts on that, which will also be coming to you in our Raw SmackDown joint
Zombie
sort
pod.
of unpacking. What was good though, what did make the week a lot better was this AEW Grand Slam Mexico.
Yeah, it
This was
was.
dope.
It was definitely overall. Give that a dub.
Definitely give it that.
It was really good. I don't think there was. I think maybe there were one or two matches that were just sort of
There.
okay,
Sure.
and yeah, like you say, there. But other than that, I think I pretty much gave everything else, like all the matches, a dub or a double dubs up.
Me too. My
There were a couple of
not
mids.
there were a couple of minutes for me. But I mean, in terms of overall, I mean, this is kind of what I expected
Yeah.
Redemption to be like. You
Yes.
know,
But again, what it was nice is they didn't really bill it as a PPV, but it felt like one because it's in its own title.
yeah.
And there were a lot of matches, but they didn't go on forever like their normal big PPVs do. So like it wasn't 6 hours. This was 2 hours and
40-ish, somewhere around there.
yeah, something like that. So it was actually decent to watch. It didn't feel like a grind to watch.
Yeah, it was very palatable. I think maybe TK finally learned his lesson to be like, not everything has to be 6 hours long, you know.
Oh, we'll just see what happens when we get to All In.
That's gonna be a whole day thing. Let's be real. Well, the first ever undisputed 24-hour match,
Oh,
something like
Jesus.
that.
24-hour Iron Man match between Osprey and Kenny Omega. Fuck me.
Listen, I would watch it. I would. We'll take it in turns. 6 hours, 6 hours, 6 hours, 6 hours. But yeah, I mean, I liked it. Running through the card, we're just gonna go from top to bottom here, let you know our thoughts on everything. Starting off, we had, I mean, this is just in the order that I have it here. Is we have the Death Riders, which was John Moxley, Wheeler Yuta, Pac, and Daniel Garcia, with Marina Shafir at ringside versus Cajun Cope and the Young Bucks in an
Yeah,
8-man tag team match.
obviously, this is just, I think, a match to, the simple thing. We know that the Young Bucks are facing Cope and Cage at All In, so it's one of those ones where, can you work together until you get to that point?
Can
There's a
you
lot of
coexist?
yeah, pretty much. Can you make this last? So obviously, they're going to throw them together rather than just having them compete
Yeah.
against each other all the time because you don't want to see them fight before you get to the actual match.
Also,
One
they
of
are
those.
kind of both baby faces stage. I mean, obviously, Matt and
Yeah,
Nick have their darker history with being heels, I would say 50% of the time. Whereas
yeah,
now they are very much
baby
like
faces.
baby
Yeah,
faces. So yeah, again, I mean, it was a good match. I gave it a dub because again, like I think the Young Bucks are the bomb. Obviously,
yeah,
I like many members of the Death Riders. I do think John Moxley is he's a great leader for them.
yes,
He's a very good leader for them. But I find his style of wrestling to be too boring, like a little bit too slow paced for myself. But in
yeah,
this sort of sense, obviously lots of tags, the sequences were really good. The Young Bucks were obviously showing out. They had a big section like towards the end of the match where like you can see like they are like the most cohesive tag team within all of them in there. And Cage and
yeah,
Cope looked really good. This is where they shine, I think, in shorter matches. Obviously, we were talking about it the other day. Um, I think it was at Redemption, if I'm not mistaken, where
yeah,
they had a decent match. But we were saying if it was like maybe 5-10 minutes shorter because they're so much older. Like when they have the standard tag team matches, you kind of have to keep it more compressed for them.
yeah.
Or else they gas out sooner. But again, it's not because they're out of
It
shape
also
or
helped.
anything. It's because they're old.
It also helped because the more people in the match, and I'm not saying you have to have 800 people, but the
Yeah.
more people that you have in the match with them, so either a trios or even a 4-on-4, it helps them as well because it allows them to hit their big spots without overdoing it, like you said, without taking too much time.
Yeah,
Exactly. I agree. Like, so I had it as I had this one as sort of mid to dub. Just again, it just was just a match, a way for you to put your two babyface tag teams who are competing against each other together against what I would identify now as actually being full heel Death Riders rather than in between.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that.
I don't think there's an argument to be made that they're still in an in-between phase. One, they didn't come out. Well, I know no one could, but they've not really done anything to sort of help Ospreay or to try and get in his head to come back to them. So they're not trying to play that tweener role. Whereas this, they were very much full on heels. I mean, you knew it immediately when Pac came out wearing the England shirt just to goad the Mexico fans.
Yes, 100%. Absolutely. I mean, again, we talk about it all the time. Little heel things like that make a huge difference. And considering, like, I am remiss to say it, but Pac is sort of the scapegoat for the Death Riders. Like, he eats a lot of pins for them.
Yeah.
So giving him something to do, like those little like extra healy bits, does help, like, you know, keep him relevant within the group. So I did really like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gave this a dub because I didn't think it went too long. Everyone looked really good, like, throughout the whole thing. It probably had my second favorite moment of the night in it, which is so we don't call it a crotch kick. No, it's a what did Nigel call it? Like redacted punt.
Oh yeah.
But look, this is just because Christian Cage is the funniest dude on the planet when he wants to be.
Oh yeah.
You know, after Marina Shafir gets involved at some stage, as we know she does, like she has been for months and months and months, we knew she was going to get involved at some stage within this match. She just picked on the wrong person. If it was Edge, she would have gotten away with it. If it was one of the Young Bucks, would have gotten away with it. You picked on Big Daddy Cage. You can't do that. So she slapped him, and he was like, "Oh, is it, eh?" And just punted her right in the box. It was hilarious. And she sold it like a champ. I think that's also why I laughed so hard. Because she sold it like, oh, like she really got like it. So I just thought it was so funny. Yeah. That was too funny, man. And look, I mean, Cage didn't just do it to her. He also did it to Mox. Also went low on Mox.
Yeah, when they had the ref distracted.
Yeah.
Did it.
So again, like, just like, I like the dynamic of Cope and Cage, where Cope is like just 100% the over white meat baby face, and Cage is still healing it up a storm. But, you know, it's just because he's much more older now. He's kind of over it. He's like, nah, I fucking cheat to when I'm gonna.
Exactly. He can't deal with the bullshit. He's like, oh, fuck it.
I'm like, nah, enough of this. Kick to the dick, done. Listen, that was a theme throughout the whole of AEW Grand Slam, and we'll get to it a bit later. But listen, I gave it a dub. I liked it, like, quite a bit. Obviously, Cope and Cage and the Young Bucks, they came out with the win. No, sorry, they lost. Sorry, the Death Riders came out with the win here, which I wasn't too sure about in the sense of it, but it does make a lot of sense in terms of the storytelling.
It does, and it also helps because when they did that, obviously, you're expecting Cope and Cage and the Young Bucks to sort of be like, oh, whatever. Obviously, Cage did his thing, and he just walked the fuck off. So
yeah,
like, he just walked away, and obviously it's like really sets that up with Cope still trying to be quite friendly, and like you say, Cage just doing the heel thing and walking away,
which makes sense because, I mean, you lost. Like, you can have this buddy talk in the back. Like, let's not like try and sort it out now, because obviously it was because there was a section where, you know, they bumped into each other, which set up the whole pinning combination. Which, I mean, I'm not mad at it at all, because I do think it's weird that they lost considering they're going to wrestle. But again, it's because they can't coexist. So within the universal storytelling of it, makes sense. And
again, like we alluded to, with the roll up tight hold pin, that really established. Like, they do it, but that really establishes the heel side of the Death Riders.
Yeah, for sure. And let's not forget,
the win.
Right before that happened, we did have the visual win for Cope and Cage, because Cope did roll up or like get Moxley down, like, but Wheeler Yuta distracted the referee long enough. It was way longer than a 3 count that would have been counted. But again, It's good heel work. It's very good heel. That's what you're
A
supposed
lot
to
of
do.
ref distractions as well. That like this whole
Yeah.
PLE or this whole show there was quite a lot of ref distractions. Ref
Which,
bumps.
that seems to be like sort of the go-to with these sort of things. Like, we're not sure what to do it. A ref distraction. We'll get away with
They
it.
face that way.
But look, I did like it. I gave it a dub. Yeah, I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure where they go from here in terms of
They'll find ways. The Young
now
Bucks
that
and
they
Cage are experienced enough to keep this with leg, like to give this
sure,
legs.
sure. But what I mean is like because we had Mark rolling up Cope for the win, I probably would have given maybe like a Utah or a Garcia the visual, like the win over like the actual 1, 2, 3, because they're a set tag team within the Death Riders. Just so like going forward, you could have a conversation. Oh well, we pinned you. Yeah, it was an 8-man tag, but again, you're heels, so they can like finagle it into the sense of well, we were. Whereas Mox didn't really need to get this one, but he is the leader. So again, I would have gone a different way. I'm not mad at it. It just would have made more sense to me there.
Yeah, fair enough. But like I said, I had this mid to dub. It just felt like for me, it just felt like it was entertaining, but it just felt like it was a match to be put on the card. Like there was no real.
Yeah, just to keep everyone like relevant, like leading into All In. Look, I mean, I totally understand that. Again, I'm pretty much giving it a dub because Cage made me laugh.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's about it. Chat. Moving on, and we had a 3-way match. I hate the fact that they call it 3-way. It's a triple threat match. It just sounds weird. To determine a spot in the Casino Gauntlet match at All In. So we had Andrade El Idolo versus Tommaso Ciampa and Commander.
I had this as a dub because I was entertained the whole way through.
I gave us a double dubs because of that.
Really? Oh, that's good, man.
Yeah.
No, I like that. I had it as a dub because I was just very much entertained.
It was just a fun match. I really enjoyed it.
I could give it a double dubs up as well. Like, I'm not opposed to doing that. It's just, like I say, my first instinct was just dub for it because it felt safe.
Yeah.
But I could give this a double dubs up. Like, I can't be talked out of it.
No, look, I mean, we're gonna jump the gun here. Like, so obviously we knew Andrade. Well, I don't suppose we knew, but because it's for a number one contendership in the Casino Gauntlet. But considering Andrade is the national champion right now, I didn't see him losing this. Especially with someone like Commander, who is absolutely incredible, but not at the level where he's going to be getting wins over Tommaso Ciampa and Andrade. And Tommaso Ciampa is still, I would say, technically feuding with Jericho, because we still haven't had that third rubber match, which we're going to get. So I kind of like going in, I was like, well, I'm kind of predicting Andrade here. But that being said, I mean, Andrade is still like the best character we've seen from him in a long time.
This is the best version of Andrade that has been around.
I'll give you that. I'll absolutely agree with that.
That we've seen across all the platforms.
It's just always want to see what he's going to do next, which is great.
Yeah. He's and the thing is, he plays so much into it. He's hilarious, but he's also like quite dangerous at the same time. Watching,
he's also a little bit cheesy. He's a bit cheesy when it comes to like these things, but like in a cool way. I don't know how to describe it.
It's weird, like not on that level, but it's kind of like the sort of 2002, 2003 Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, very much so.
Like,
very much so.
He's doing all the fun stuff. He's interacting. He's engaging, but he can be like he's got that wild streak to him. He's got like his wrestling is brilliant as well. Like he's an unbelievable wrestler.
100%. I mean, look, like I said earlier, Commander is next level. Like, I mean, when he does his stuff, like him walking, like he makes it look so easy walking across the top rope and then doing a moonsault off the opposite rope into them look great. Like, I mean, his flips, his tricks are fantastic.
He's smooth.
He's so smooth with it. And look, I mean, like all of the movement and spots were really good. There was one, I think Andrade does need to switch up to the Velcro pants because him trying to take it off over his boots always takes way too long.
Yeah. But, I agree with you. He needs to just sort of rip
it off because he was doing that at some stage. I don't know why he switched it over, but it's what it is. But what I am loving is this new mini gimmick that Ciampa has.
Oh, yes. I know what you're talking about.
And the mini gimmick, for the ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't watched a couple of things, is ever since he fought Jericho in their street fight, non-DQ street fight, whatever they called it, and he brought out the mascot for, they were in Montreal?
Montreal, yeah. At Redemption,
At Redemption, right? and he beat the shit out of their mascot, like a little plushy toy mascot. He did the same thing in Mexico with a jersey now. So this little mini gimmick where he has his own little wrestling match with whatever the crowd is gonna love, and then beats the shit out of it. Makes me laugh. I don't know why. I know it's dumb.
Andrade's pants, wasn't it? His trousers.
Well, he did it with the shirt first. He also came out. He also came out with a shirt and started beating up the shirt, and then he did it with the pants as well because everyone was cheering once Andrade took his pants off. But like these little things where he just has his own little vendetta against us. Like again, it's just character building because he's very much like Andrade. You know, we know how dangerous this dude is. You know, but he also does these really stupid things, and it does get heat, but like in a dumb way that is like very entertaining and funny. That makes you want to watch him more, and like I think that's really good in-ring storytelling. You know,
and I think it was a good for me, it was a good blend here because you got like I say, Ciampa, who's a solid wrestler, more brutality. Andrade, who's very much comedic relief, but power.
Yeah.
And then you have obviously quickness and power, but then you have Commander, who's just all out flight.
Yeah, which is great.
You get a great blend of everything. You don't just see, which is always fun to see, like 3 heavyweights or 3 cruiserweights or whatever wrestle. But having a blend of guys who are around the same size but do different things puts on more of an entertaining match because they all have something unique to offer.
Exactly. Yeah. No,
so that's why you're never bored with it. And I mean, I laughed as well because obviously you get you had Andrade spot with a crowd photo with one of the pretty girls in the front.
Yeah.
But then when Ciampa takes him out and takes the girl's phone and then takes a photo of his junk off the apron, I was like, oh, sold.
But even what I thought was also funny just before it doesn't seem like anyone else like caught it was because normally when Andrade gets a selfie with one of the baddies that are inside, listen, I'm not saying they're all baddies. I'm just saying that's what they call them, right? Yeah. So just so everyone's aware. He takes a selfie and then he leans in with his cheek and then he normally gets a bit of a peg. He did this with this one and he leaned in like this and she was like, yo, did she take the photo? And he was like, okay, I guess I'm not getting one, son of a bitch. So I also thought that was really funny. You know? And just like leaned into it, it's like, all right, well, next week's one. But I thought that was absolutely great. Again, that's why I gave it a double dubs up, man. The match itself only went 11 minutes, but it felt like it flew by. It felt like it was only 5. Because of like there was so much action, a bit of comedy throughout. You know, and again, the moves were absolutely crisp and smooth. No one really missed anything. It just seems to me like obviously like I'm not sure how old Commander is, but he seems like a fairly young dude. So you know he's gonna like with his flights and his flips and tricks and stuff, he's gonna look great. But I don't know what it is with like this newfound energy that Andrade and Tommaso Ciampa have. Like they also just seem to be like hitting their moves like really crisply and like they moving like quicker than they did. I know WWE does wrestle a slower style. I mean that's a lot of the issue that apparently people are having with Sol Ruka backstage. Because that's also come out in the news. She's got a bit of heat because a lot of people backstage don't know her from NXT because they already watch it. Yeah, and because it's a much slower like pace within like, you know, the main roster, you have to slow down your matches and get the crowd more involved. Whereas Sol Ruka's like, go for it. So maybe that's the difference in terms of how Andrade and Tommaso are wrestling now, because it just seems like they have an extra pep in their step. And it just makes it look like all their moves look so much more impactful and like, you know, hard-hitting.
I think that I think a big factor of that has got to be, like you say, when they were, if you're comparing it to what they had in WWE, they're restricted. Here it just feels like go and do your own thing. Like, do your moves, do your storyline where like TK must just go, cool, keep it to like this time frame. This is kind of what we're going for this match. We'd like to see you wrestle you, but whatever you do in the middle,
that's you go.
That's on you.
Yeah, you have 11. Like I've got 11 minutes ish.
Yeah,
you've got 11 minutes. Show us what you got, you know, and like they do, which is fantastic. Which is what, I gave this the double dubs up. I thought it was great.
I think you've talked me into it.
Fair enough. That's what we try and do here on BTF and
Dubs. Me into the double dubs up.
Listen, but then straight after that, I think we got our first ever triple dubs up, and that's just me because of who it is. We had the return of Big Hebrew himself, MJF.
I mean, I was surprised.
Yeah, I knew he was coming back.
At some point,
but not at Grand Slam Arena, Mexico. I mean, in terms of the history of him doing like stuff when he was AEW champ, like he ripped on the when he was fighting all the luchadors. It makes a lot of sense now, but at the time I didn't think about it.
I also thought like, oh, why here? Why now? And then obviously, Andrade has the ring because of Will.
Yes.
So you're like, okay, cool. They've clearly thought about this a while ago.
Yeah, very much in advance, which
Because they
is
set it
great.
up when obviously MJF was working with the Don Callis family.
Yeah.
Because he was always,
He was
using
kind
the
of
ring.
like, I don't want to say he was ducking Andrade, but he was just like, no,
And he
I don't have
obviously
to wrestle you.
accidentally hits Andrade with the ring or whatever. So it
Yeah.
it all ties and bends in the same way. Like it fits to what it is. So like I was surprised. And then I obviously kicked in. It's like, oh no, Andrade's got the ring. So fair enough. What I was surprised with, and I loved, was him bringing out the Triple B.
Yes, I did love that. Yeah, that was great. I didn't expect that either.
Again, I was like, okay, cool. This is really MJF doing MJF heel, and he was so, as always, brilliant on the mic.
Oh yeah, I
I
mean,
am the one true leader. The only belt that matters is the Triple V. Like proper giving it, and the crowd were hating.
And like he leaned into it hard. I mean, he was calling them pieces of trash. He said it's piece of trash country.
Yeah.
Said it's America's hero. Like if you gotta get booed, you gotta say that in Arena Mexico. He was on fire. It's MJF, best in the world, really. Especially when it comes to being a heel. Like he's been gone for what, 3 weeks or so, more or less.
Something like that, yeah.
And he hasn't missed a step. I loved that. I love the fact that he, like you said, obviously, like the story's built in with like the Dynamite Diamond Ring and the National Championship, which I'm glad they're giving MJF a break from the main event scene because he does have a few loose ends to tie up, which is great. Yeah. So, go after Andrade, who's red hot as a babyface right now. That's great. That's gonna be insane. We're gonna be able to see that at All In, I guarantee it. Right, which is gonna be huge. But then also the fact that he never forgot about the fact that he still needs to go after like Ospreay or Kenny, depending on who wins it. Calling like Kenny a paper champion, which I mean I always find that like really really funny. Or Ospreay, I can't remember who he aimed it at, but he was also saying like he's carrying a toy belt because obviously he brought out the Triple B. That was great. MJF, man, this got like honestly, this is double dubs up. If I could give it 3, I probably would.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And again, I think it sets up good sets up things up well because he might be then in the Casino Gauntlet match.
Yes.
Right now he'll win a spot for the Casino Gauntlet match. One, Andrade is in it, so we'll see MJF face off against Andrade, and more than likely MJF wins it because then he has the opportunity to go after the world title again. But for that immediate period, just keep him away from Kenny.
Yeah.
Like have him do this sort of thing where he stays away from them but calls them out.
Yeah, which I'm perfectly happy with. Like focus on getting his ring back because again, that is his ace in the hole, so he needs it more than most things.
Yeah.
So make it about like him getting that back, but like you said, like keep like knocking at the door and like giving shit to Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega to keep him within the conversation. Happy. This was well done. If this was planned in advance, I mean, we said on our Beach Break podcast was the AEW booking masterclass, so we know they're capable of this long-term sort of stuff. And I don't know, this seems very planned because there's no way the pieces just fell into place by accident here.
No, they clearly saw something with the MJF Andrade.
Yeah, and they were like, cool, let's do this. We'll have Ospreay and Kenny at All In. That should be the main event. So I absolutely agree with. But you can't leave MJ off. It's built in. I liked it. This was great. This got a double dubs up for me. This was absolutely awesome.
I agree. That segment definitely got double dubs up. If you go more, you go more.
Yeah, 100%. Then we got my first mid for the show. And this was the trios tag match for the women, which was the Brawling Birds and Willow Nightingale, the AEW Women's World Champion, versus the CEO Mercedes Moné and the women's tag team champions, the Divine Dominion, which is obviously Lena Cross and Megan Bayne.
Yeah.
Look, this match went also like they actually kept like the first 3 matches all under 12 minutes, which I mean that's impressive, but all above 11. So well done.
Yeah.
But this felt like a bit of a chore for me. I think that's why I'm going to give it a mid. It wasn't a bad match, but it was much slower than like the opening, the previous match.
Yeah, I had it as a mid as well. Like it wasn't dreadful, it was just slow.
Yeah. That's the
Like
thing.
there
It
were
was just
there
slow.
were
That's
some moments where I
mm,
thought it was going to pick up and it just didn't.
yeah. It just
But
never got going. I think that's the best way to like say it, you know? Like
yeah, I mean,
even all the moves that they had within the match, you know, like I feel like the Divine Minion could have shown out a little bit more, you know, like establish their dominance over the Brawling Birds, but they were kind of evenly matched. I think that also is why I gave it more of a mid, now that I'm talking about it out loud, is it felt very much to me like the Brawling Birds and Divine and Minion didn't necessarily have to be here for this.
no, but then you can't have Mercedes versus Willow just as a
Yeah,
match.
but what I mean in this is like they made it very much about those two within this trios match,
Yeah,
as opposed to I kind of care more about the Brawling Birds and Divine Dominion. So it should be more about those two with at the forefront, or those four at the forefront,
yeah.
and Willow and Mercedes having their like thing for All In, like sort of as the background. Whereas I think they kind of reversed it and made it more about those two than the tag teams.
I agree with you that, and it should have been because again we already know the Willow Mercedes storyline and we know the matches have all it. They after the match they said, oh, it's officially confirmed the Brawling Birds will be taking on Divine Dominion at All In, because we know they called them out for it.
Yeah, so we know that's gonna go right.
I agree with you. It should have been those four or those two teams as the epicenter of this match. Like they should have been the focus, and then you could have had Willow and Mercedes have their own little tip on the side. But I agree with you, because a lot of the time it felt like it was just Willow and Mercedes in the ring.
Yeah, and again, like I mean, that obviously for me was like that shouldn't be what the focus should have been on at this stage, because you have quite a bit of time still. You still got about 3.5, 4 weeks before All In, right? Which is fine. But considering we know the story and the history of Willow and Mercedes at this stage, I kind of want to see more of the story behind the Brawling Birds. Like we were talking about the other day with the vignettes of them beating up dudes at the bar and stuff. Rather establish them more. Like what I would have liked to have seen here. Sorry, I know I'm rambling a little bit, but considering the winners were Willow Nightingale and the Brawling Birds, Willow got the roll up on Mercedes.
Yeah.
Right, and she ate the pin. What I probably would have actually preferred to happen, because again, like now, let's call a spade here, shall we? Don't care about Willow versus Mercedes at all.
No, but we've spoken about this
at length, ad nauseum, right?
Yeah.
For specific reasons, and I'm going to bitch about it in a little bit after this, but it makes more sense to me to have Mercedes get a sneaky roll-up win on Willow. Yes. You know, because she's the sneaky heel. She should be winning like that at this stage. It's not like the Paige and Bree situation where they were using it to survive. Yes. You know, big matches.
It's a completely different.
It's a completely different thing. So now I get the sense that okay, cool. Well, you know, yeah, Willow picked up like a very superficial win over Mercedes, which, you know, fine, whatever. If you want to go that way, go that way. Let's see how it goes. I would have just reversed that, or what I would have preferred is if, because the focus was so much on Mercedes and Willow within this, have Mercedes kind of cost the Divine Dominion a pin here. Have Megan Bain maybe take a pin to the Brawling Birds. So then also that way they'd be like, well, you screwed us over. Like, we lost this match because you are so focused on Willow. You're not even helping right now. You know, so away with you. You know, and then you can focus on just those two versus the Brawling Birds and the Divine Minion also as a separate thing, and not have this whole intertangled web of boringness.
Well, so
again, that's like, just how I would have preferred it.
I like that. For what they did, I think it saves face for the Divine Dominion more. Like, I agree. Probably should have had Mercedes win, because that, they were saying, was the first time that Divine Dominion were involved in a losing match. So neither of them got pinned, right? So having one of them get pinned by one of the Birds, I don't know if it does any justice to that, but by them being on a losing team but not eating a pin helps that mythos of technically they still haven't been beaten.
Fair. Okay, yeah, 100%. That makes all sense.
So you keep that mythos alive. But having Mercedes have the roll up on, or the pin on Willow, or even one of the Birds, any one of them, allows that streak to continue. and furthers the developments of the others because it's more of a vendetta then. So Willow's the champ, yes, but if she pins Willow, then it's like, okay, Mercedes can really heal it up and go, look, I've already got this pin on you. I've got this pin on you. I've beat you here. Whatever. This is just the most recent, and it's just a foreshadow of what's to come at All In. Nothing's going to change.
See, I would prefer that. I much would have preferred that. Again, I think getting a victory here was the wrong call.
I agree.
And that's again why I gave it like a mid, because I mean, what you just said now makes more sense than anything else in developing this, because now you're going to have, instead of, oh, I beat you, Mercedes Moné, I'm going to beat you again. Now you're going to have like, who's a trios match? No, it doesn't really matter. You know, something, and not have that edge to it. You know, if you're gonna put Willow over as this ultra white meat baby face, then you need Mercedes to go full heel. I'm talking dark side heel, you know?
My only issue with that is having Willow win this normally sets up a precursor for who's going to win. Matches like this normally set up the precursor for who's going to win.
We'll say, in the sense of WWE, they do that a lot. AEW, at least, that's why I'm also, like, you know, suspending my disbelief quite a bit here. They do it far less than WWE does.
Yeah, I have noticed that, and it is good, but at the same time, it
is, yeah.
In the back of my mind, it worries me.
I think what does help is the fact that it happened like literally the first week of August, so we have like a long time. If this happened on the Go Home show at Dynamite, they'd be like, oh, okay, cool. That's gonna set it up for a surprise victory, because that's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. It was, again, like, there wasn't anything wrong with this match. There was things that we could nitpick, and, like, you know, like how we would have preferred it. It was just a bit boring, I think, as well.
It
didn't really do much for me. But again, I mean, we've still got plenty of time until All In, so we'll see how it goes. I do feel that the Divine Dominion needs to be featured far more than they are right now.
I get the feeling that obviously the Birds are going to win at All In.
I get that feeling as well.
Divine Dominion, like you say, haven't really been prominently
featured. Yeah, because I mean, yeah, they've won and they are undefeated, but they're not like on like. Quite honestly, the one thing I do remember more than two things that I remember more than anything in their reign so far is us at Forbidden Door, basically calling exactly how that match would go one or two ways, which was great. You know, I love that. It was also great. And again, I love the whole 5-minute match thing. It was such a good way to, like, you know, have squash matches, but make them competitive. But also the really awkward Mick Foley segment that they had, where he didn't hear bow down, he heard bow wow, and started barking like a dog, like a weirdo.
Yeah, that was just...
Which is not a great way for you having, like, one of the best tag team title runs ever for the women's division. You know, so again, hopefully they push, like, the Divine Dominion for the next couple of weeks, like, really, like, establish, like, no, this was one of the best reigns ever.
Make it to the point that should the Birds win, they've beaten an absolute unit of a team.
Like, it's a big deal. This isn't, oh, we know the Birds get a win because then you'll have Will Ospreay and Alex Windsor both be champs at the same time, sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know? But we digress. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how that goes. Then we had the match of the night, really. Let's be absolutely real about this. This got a double dubs up for me as soon as the music hit. This was the AEW International Champion, Kyle Fletcher, the Protostar, goddamn, so far wrestler of the year still for me. And Speedball Mike Bailey. God damn, this match kicked ass.
Yeah, I had also immediately had this as a double dubs up. This had everything going for it. It had square hits. It had speed. It had power. It had excitement. It had
big spots, like outside the ring spots. It was awesome.
Had everything.
I mean, we saw an Avalanche Michinoku driver at one stage. You don't see that very often. I know Kyle Fletcher likes to bust it out every now and again, but yeah. Look, they both looked like $1 trillion here.
I mean, it was great. Like, I loved the whole thing where they paid the homage, but again, they did it so well with Fletcher, where he just took the mask and he stomped on it. Like, he came out with his own mask. So it's sort of like, oh, he's playing into the crowd thing, and then he obviously stomps on it. And that sets you up immediately.
Yeah, for exactly, because I mean, also Mike Bailey also came out in a mask, but he respected it, so you can see it's like full on, like, you know who to boo, you know who to cheer without like shoving it down your throat. So again, just setting it up felt like that. It had that grandiose sort of feel to it, like that big fight feel, as they say in combat sports. I mean, I don't even know where to start with this.
The first thing to start with is how Mike Bailey isn't dead. That lawn dart by Fletcher into the barricade, and I think McGuinness or Excalibur alluded to it later on in another match. They're like, these barriers are like, normally they're quite flexible. They're solid, like they're not moving.
Yeah, no.
I was like, shit. I bet you they must have thought, Fletcher and Speedball must have been like, oh, this will be a cool spot.
Yeah.
You know, it'll just sort of indent like what the AEW one does.
Yeah, it'll go like, it'll go,
he just hit that wall like, he just
straight down.
like he died. It was so powerful.
I don't know how he's not concussed after that.
Ridiculous.
Because, you know? I mean, I would totally understand if they're like, because at Redemption, for argument's sake, right? They had that really nasty head collision between Nick Jackson and Will Ospreay. And then they sold the, like, is he concussed in throughout the whole match. I could have seen them doing it in this and be like, believe it a lot more after that lawn dart, because Carl Fletcher's lawn dart move, because he normally does it into the middle turnbuckle.
Yeah, which he did later on
anyway. Exactly. So, I mean, I'm glad they also brought that into the storyline where he's focusing on the head, which is great. Like, again, good heel work, good in-ring storytelling, love it. If Mike Bailey was like a little bit off and like a little bit doozy, you know, throughout the whole thing, like, that's believable. That's believable.
It was
well as thing, because then, you know, obviously they get back in the ring. Fletcher goes for that really high angle powerbomb thing that he has. So I'm just going through my notes here. Bailey slides out smooth as a whistle for a backslide. I was like, okay, cool. Apparently he's fine. Yeah, so he took one of the nastiest bumps I've seen in a while, like an absolute champ, and like he's gotten better somehow. It's like it's unlocked something. You know? And then he yeets. Obviously, that comes in like any sort of like pinfall or anything like that, or as a quick one. Yeets Fletcher outside, springboard moonsault.
Yeah.
Like, okay, amazing. Like, what are we doing, boys?
Like you say, it's like it's weird. Like, Speedball's always been good, but it like really kicked him into another gear after he smashed his head.
Yeah, exactly. It was just absolutely wild to me, dude.
And again, I think when obviously Fletcher looked a bit dazed as well when Speedball kicked him in the face in the corner.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if that's because Fletcher was just trying to hold on to the ropes and not fall over, and he was basically just stiff as a board.
I think it was that, because I thought he just sold it very well, but I might be wrong. When I watched it live, I was like, oh, he's so good at selling. And then now you mention, I'm like, I wonder.
He was just stiff as a board when Bailey kicked him, and I was just like, is he okay? Because obviously he was he waited for like 5 seconds afterwards, and he was like, am I here? It looked like he kind of got knocked.
It did a little loopy there for a second, absolutely.
Like, again, like I say, it was 2 nasty bumps from each one, not like one person doing it. But again, all over.
Yeah.
This match was just...
It was so good. I mean, like, after that, you know, we had, like, you know, another moonsault from the apron. Carl Fletcher went for the brainbuster at one stage. He just couldn't hit it because, you know, obviously it's still a little bit early in the match. When it went to the outside up the ramp, I was like, oh, shit, okay, what are we going to do now? Because Arena Mexico, when you go up the ramp, there's also a staircase that leads to the top. So you actually like either come through the sides or you come down the staircase onto the ramp. And I was like, oh, I wonder what dumb shit they're going to do here. And it wasn't dumb, but we did see Mike Bailey go up the stairs with Fletcher and then do a Hurricane Rana off of it, which was never seen that before. And I was like, what are we doing? Like, this is a Wednesday night, boys.
And he did, like, I wouldn't do it, but he did the moon, like, he went up a few flights and did the moonsault.
Yeah,
like,
and he did the moonsault right off that.
Yeah. He looked like he was going to land short. But again, being innovative and just doing their thing, playing into their strengths.
Yeah, it worked so well. I mean, their chemistry is insane. It was... And, like, this match, obviously, then, like, you know, after that, with the moonsault from the staircase onto Fletch, they eventually make their way back into the ring. Then we did get the Michinoku driver by Fletcher. Then it became, like, just a, like, in-ring like
Most.
mono, like one-on-one, like who's better sort of thing, which I'm always a big fan of. And like again, the difference in their styles, you know, Speedball might be Speedball for a reason. He's quick, he's got excellent strikes, you know, and he's quite technical. I think people sleep on just how strong Carl Fletcher is sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no.
Because
like
he was the absolute powerhouse. The Michinoku driver. He did his big power bomb. Like it was just a really good back and forth. You know, like throughout that whole little segment. We did then get a sheer drop brainbuster, but like just in the middle of the ring. And I thought that was it actually. After all of that, I was like, the lawn dart, you know, the power bombs, you know, all that sort of. Mike Bailey's done.
Physically
The brainbuster is his finisher.
Physically wearing out.
Exactly. And then 1-2 Speedball kicks out. So I was like, oh, cool. We got another 5 minutes left to go. I couldn't be happier with that. The crowd was crazy for it as well. The crowd was
I think it would
absolutely
have been disappointing if he did win on that pin.
Yeah, because I think everyone was like, oh, we want more. And I wanted more for sure.
But also, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but doing the brainbuster, the turnbuckle brainbuster for the last several matches, kind of sets you into like puts you in a corner here now where I mean, there's no other way, but like it puts you in.
Yeah, in that mindset, it's like, oh, he doesn't. It's like when you see Cody hit one crossroads, you're like, well, that's not it.
No. Even against someone like Speedball, it's like the brainbuster, you wouldn't expect that to just put him away. You'd expect him to have a bit more resilience, which he does.
No, absolutely. I do think what they do need to start doing though is like have Carl Fletcher face off against like sort of lower card guys. Just to sort of reevaluate, like the brainbuster is a single move finisher. He doesn't always have to go to like, especially like a good example would be for John Cena, right? Towards the later part of his career, he always had to go to the avalanche attitude adjustment.
Yeah.
Right, because the one would just never be enough. I think if you bring it back, have him face a few lower card guys where he just does the brainbuster once, and reestablish this is a finisher. You have to be extra tough. You need to be double tough, $5 steak tough to actually kick out of it.
And I mean that, like, I agree with you, and I mean this in no disrespect of the way. Put him up against someone like Leo Rush.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be an entertaining match. First of all, we've got you and I have developed
big fans.
Real spot for Leo Rush, but he's a person where if he just does the brainbuster, you feel like okay, that's enough. He doesn't have to go.
Yeah. Unless he wants to be ultra heel about it, and like after you do the brainbuster, then you just pick his ass up and do it again.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool, 100%. But like I said, I just want you to reestablish that this is his finisher. When he hits it, you should be staying down.
Yes.
You know, again, this is nothing against like the booking or anything. This was great. I just think like, you know, going forward, maybe you could do that, you know, because that's the thing with being Carl Fletcher right now, because he's such a hot commodity. You are putting him in matches with like really upper mid card or like upper card guys. So, you know, you don't want to dig yourself into a hole too soon. Let him beat some jabronis for a little bit. You know, that's fine as well. You know, heal that up. But look, so Speedball kicks out at 2. Oh shit, crowd goes wild. Then it's the rally. We love a good rally, and this was great for Speedball after like this sort of abuse. This is great.
I think he was very much on the back foot for like the sort of middle to latter end of the match. He was on the back foot. Yeah,
exactly. Like once Carl took the speed out of it.
Yeah, he was asserting his absolute dominance and like you say, his power that he has that people don't pay attention to.
Exactly. So I mean, like this rally was great. This was like a real proper like hell yeah, like go on Mike, go on Speedball sort of thing, and like you know. Gets up, you know, hits the boot in the, while he's running foot in the corner then. I mean, what do I have here? Yeah, so he dodged another lawn dart into the corner, hit the running boot. Where am I on my notes? Sorry.
So I've got...
All right, so after he got this, then he hit a Poison Rana. I refuse to call it a reverse Hurricane Rana. It's Poison Rana. Poison Rana. Stop calling... Especially Excalibur. Of all people, one of the best. Like reverse Hurricane Rana. Just call it a Poison Rana.
It's what it's been called for a long time.
For a very long time. It's Poison Rana. Stop calling it a reverse Hurricane Rana. I hate that. I made that. I put that in like all caps. Like
I never write that. I always write Poison Rana in my notes.
I say Poison Rana all caps. That's what I got you. And then listen. I think one of my favorite moves. Maybe it's because I'm a Final Fantasy nerd. But Mike Bailey's ultimate weapon looks so sick. Like, who would have thought? Like, just a shooting star like knees to the back or gut would look so devastating and look so cool. But he also calls it the ultimate weapon, which I'm like, that's dope. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a sick name for a move.
Right, the ultimate weapon, dope. So I really like that. But look, he went for the 3 count. He got a 1-2. Kyle Fletcher kicks out. Then we got the Kyle Fletcher. I'm done with this. Beat up Mike. Put him on the top rope. Turnbuckle brainbuster. That's the 1-2-3. Double dubs up. This match kicked ass.
It was sick. It was a
this
great
is so
match.
sick. I think it went just over 16 minutes, somewhere on there. Perfect. Yeah. Pick up the pace after the trios match. You set it up. It's a big marquee match for a title. This was dope. And then we had the breakup. I don't know if we can even call it that. Is Proto Okada no more? Because we had Kazuchika Okada come down. Obviously, he was in the next match.
Yes.
So was that sort of, I'm just for my match.
It's cut it, but it's because it's in your mind. He cut off Kyle Fletcher's music for his to come up.
And Kyle Fletcher was pissed about it. He was not happy.
But he was obviously because it was him holding the title in the corner, celebrating, and you just see the look on his face. It's kind of like,
like I have to deal with this dude again. God damn, why?
like we were saying after Redemption, give us Okada versus Fletcher at All In. This is adding to the little tension of it.
I think they will. I think they will give us that. I think this will be one of those, like Doncast, like, I want to see who the better one is, and like just throw them in a match together. I would prefer that because that's a marquee match. I would love to see that match. Kyle Fletcher's gonna be on that card, and you got to do something with Okada at this stage.
And again, these are all these little nuances of it, like him accidentally hitting Okada or Okada coming out and cutting off Kyle Fletcher during his celebrations, whatever. Like these small little nuances add to that little.
Yeah, and they had a stare down. It's not like this was I'm just going for my match. They're like, no, Kyle was pissed that he cut off his music, and Okada was like staring him down. It's like he does that thing where he stares at the title a little bit too hard, which is fine. Sets it up. Make it happen, TK, at All In.
It's like be a bit more subtle, Okada.
Yeah, just a little bit.
When Okada does it, like you say, he says it a bit long, but it's not like that. It's also like he makes the deliberate. It's like someone holding and you going.
Yeah, exactly. It's
one of those ones.
Like no, it's just like
be subtle, man.
High five, Kyle Fletcher, and then like knock the belt, like just give it a tap or something. It's just something a little bit easier, but. I liked it as well. This got a dub for me because I like Okada and I want to see this match. So it got a dub for me. It did set up the next match, which was the Doncast family, which obviously was Kazuchika Okada, Kevin Knight, and Hechicero versus the trios of Mystico, Jericho, and Darby Allin.
Not just Jericho.
Corazon de Leon.
Yeah,
OG Mexico wrestler from, I think he was still, this was the 90s. This was 92, exactly. Corazon de Leon.
The outfit
was his OG one.
It was his OG one that he used to wear in 1992.
It's crazy that it still fits.
I mean.
Good for Jericho. Yeah. Good for Jericho. Look, I'm not going to lie. I gave this a mid.
I had this as a mid. And for me, again, it's just just felt like you threw a match together to get them on the card, and you thought this will be fun. The only real thing in the middle of this is the Darby Allin versus Kevin Knight. Like that's the real storyline of this.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's anything going on between Mystico and Hechicero and CMLL. I'll be honest with you, so I don't know. But the weird thing is, you're supposed to be booing the Don Callis family, but the crowd were hot for Hechicero because he is the CMLL world champion.
Yeah, and they love Hechicero.
And even when Jericho came out in his old school gear and he came out as Corazon de Leon, Jericho, whatever, the crowd was, but it wasn't like, oh my God, this is old school, this is amazing.
Yeah, they were very much like, cool, but Hechicero though.
Hechicero is our guy. You know what I mean? Like, it was a very weird match to watch in that sense.
It was, yeah. But look, I mean, it was fine. You had great spot. Hechicero obviously looked great. Mystico looked really good. Obviously, Darby and Kevin looked great.
I thought Okada looked very like he was uninterested in this match. Like he looked very like he
got that sense as well. To be perfectly honest,
around or just wallowing in. This is just a match.
There was a section of the match where he jumped off the apron and was chilling. Like he wasn't he didn't get bumped off or anything. He was kind of just standing there. I feel like they probably said like we need to try as Kazuchika Okada. It's Don Callis family. You have to go out. He's like, oh, but I'm the
Fine.
Rainmaker.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, oh my god, I've been reduced to this.
Yeah, I got that sense. I hope this also, and I've been saying it for a minute now. I kind of want Okada to leave the Don Callis family and just be his own singles wrestler, like the Rainmaker of old, like from IWGP. Keep him as a heel. I don't need him to turn face. I just need him to be the conniving heel by himself without Don Callis, you know? Because again, Don Callis family is far too large now anyway. Not that that's new. It's been like that for a while. But, you know, considering you have like Mark Davis, Jake Doyle, Brian Cage, Lance Archer, you got all these big dudes. You don't need Okada there.
No.
You know, make Carl Fletcher your de facto leader of it, because now you don't have Andrade. Kevin Knight isn't there quite yet. And we all know that Kevin's going to break up. He's his own dude, really. You know.
Yeah, he's just there because I think it's like in the sense of he's using them to get pushed.
Yeah, which is fine. But that's what you're supposed to do.
But he doesn't need to have them.
No,
he doesn't need to be part of the Don Callis family, but he's using them to get pushed.
Yeah, so I think, barring they bring someone new in, which I really hope they don't, unless it's like a super big name, like give me a Zilla Fatu there, you know.
Yeah.
I think Carl Fletcher should be the de facto leader. Have Kevin Knight there or thereabouts, but get Okada out so he can do his own stuff. Even if you turn him babyface, that would also be great, you know. But I digress. It was a good match. It was fine. There's nothing that really stood out to me. Nothing that I wrote down here that I was like, oh, we really need to talk about. Besides, again, like the Hechicero being cheered more than anyone else.
The only thing that mattered was like in that sense was the finish, which was a bit, you know,
it was alright. It wasn't great. It wasn't the best.
Again, so you had Jericho and Mystico lock up their opponents in submission moves, but Darby Allin to obviously him and Kevin Knight being the legal men to him to hit the coffin drop and win it. Like, I mean, I get it, but again, it just felt like a match that they threw together for this card.
Also, I will say for the finish, like, wasn't bad because, you know, obviously having the Walls Jericho and having the Mystica like put it on for Darby to get the visually cool, but didn't add anything. It was just there, like you said. It was just the match that was there. This didn't have to be on the card. I'm not sure if I had preferred like a Darby Allin versus Kevin Knight mic battle, you know, like a promo battle.
Yeah.
To set that up, you know, and then have like a bit of a beatdown, have like Hechicero and Okada then come down, you know. Obviously, that sort of moves away from what he did to Carl Fletcher, but then you could have Chris Jericho and Mystico down to help out and have a tag match there. You know what I mean? I understand you're in Mexico, so you don't want to do too much storyline stuff, but you can.
It feels like they made this match and put it there just for us to get the Okada cut off Carl Fletcher moment. That literally this feels like, okay, we need to have this moment, but what's the best way to do it? Or we'll just have a trios match with.
Yeah. See now, and what you were saying earlier on with you know, how like generally speaking, if someone gets the pin before a big pay-per-view, that person's generally gonna like, you know, reverse the result. I felt like that here with Darby getting the coffin drop on Kevin and getting the 1-2-3. That to me sort of foreshadowed that Kevin will retain at All In, which I'm perfectly happy with.
Yeah, it's fine.
But again, I wouldn't have had this here. I would have had like a promo battle on a Dynamite or Collision. Even if you just had like a Mystico, Chris Jericho versus Hechicero and Kevin Knight match. Cool. Just that as a tag team match would have fit better within the grand scheme of things. But I mean, we got what we got. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It got a mid. It was alright. I will say the next match also got a mid from me, to be honest. I know she's your goal.
I know, but I gave it a mid as well. And again, they were trying to play it off like Persephone was the heel because of what she did to Chris, and this is how it set up the match or whatever, like to lose at Forbidden Door. But the crowd never treated it that way because Persephone is one of their own.
Yeah, so like striking that balance is always going to be difficult.
Yeah, wherever you are, because obviously Chris was trying to play into being the babyface of this moment, and Persephone playing into the. I mean, because obviously they had the moment where Persephone pulled Thunder Rosa over and hit her with the Mexican Championship or whatever, and you're like, okay, well, get it, but that's more for obviously their storytelling, not ours.
Yeah, which also, again, another reason why I gave it a mid was that, because it's like Persephone was clearly more focused on her feud with Thunder Rosa, who will challenge her for her CMLL Women's World Championship. So this match also just kind of felt there because of it,
Yeah, and I agree with that. But this is what I'm saying. Like, you got the weirdest, most over the top ref bump here.
It was. I laughed.
I did laugh, and it was the highlight really of the match, which is a horrible thing to say. It's like the shining moment of the match.
Oh man,
it was just so bizarre and unnecessary. And I get it. I mean, again, I get it, because that's when you open up for Shida to come in and to screw Chris Statlander over again.
Again, yes.
So this clearly is leading to them facing off against each other for the TBS title at some point.
But I
don't think it'll be at All In, but it shouldn't be like a title. It's leading to something like that.
If it is at All In, it should be on the pre-show.
Yeah, because as well, like, we don't need to see this rivalry continue, because we obviously had that street fight match between Shida and Statlander after the breakup.
Yeah,
which I don't even think we covered, because we probably just missed it. But
I think that was during the period where we missed a couple of episodes of Dynamite.
Which is fair enough. But again, it's a match that happened, and it was fairly.
It was mid.
But it wasn't like over the top. No, like you would expected it to have been. And Statlander won that one, so I think this rivalry has run its course.
It has. It did a while ago. It definitely did a while ago. I mean, you brought it up. The most important thing about this match that I was thinking was, like, I wonder what the ref did backstage that he deserved that level of violence. Because Chris didn't just fly off the apron with that shoulder block. She flew off that apron. Like, it was high to him. Like, rocked that ref. So, I mean, the ref obviously pissed somebody off backstage.
Yeah, he did something wrong. But like you say, I'm also love Chris Statlander, but this needs to stop now.
Yeah, give us something better to do.
Give her something better to do. I don't care if
give Sheeta something to do. I don't like the fact that all she does is like run down after a match, hit someone with the kendo sticks, like feud time. Like, nah.
But that she got caught up on the rope trying to roll in. Did you see it?
I did.
Like, she struggled. I was like,
because the kendo stick got caught a little bit. So I was like, oh my soul! Like, this could have been. It was a little bit smoother. I may have given it a dub.
What did she roll? Why didn't she just run and slide in? What did she?
I don't know. I think maybe because of the way the ramp is. But then also just step through the ropes or jump over the top. Do something else. Don't get caught up in it.
Yeah, well, either way.
Oh, wait to see that on Botchamania.
But the one thing as well, like, I did appreciate. Obviously, she hits Statlander with the women's belt, like the women's championship belts, whatever, like the Mexican one. Props to Statlander for selling it for so long, because it took a while for that ref to get in, and he got the 1, 2, 3. Normally you go, I was going, okay, it's been so long, she's going to kick out. This is going to go on for another few minutes.
It was an egregious amount of time.
And she was out cold, and the ref still managed to get in after 20 odd seconds and counter. So I was like, okay, fair play. She played like being out cold properly.
Yeah, for sure.
And it ended there, and I was like, okay, cool, thank God it's ended.
Yeah, because I think any longer, I'd be like, oh, this is like Danhausen, Joe Hendry levels of Zerba now. Let's
move on. So I was like, okay, cool, that's fine, it's done. Like that, and I hate to say that because I obviously love Chris Statlander, but that match was just
it was. But yeah, so obviously the big thing here is that obviously it's going to be, I think, title versus title for Thunder Rosa and Persephone.
Yeah,
but that's CMLL, which we don't generally watch or cover, and then we're going to have the hopefully the final blow-off match between Statlander and Hikaru Shida. It's definitely going to be a kendo stick on a pole match. Mark my words. Another one. But then after that we also had the TBS champ Maya Wald and forgive my pronunciation, Hyen.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's Hyen. To check on stats. Again, I don't really know why. I understand, like, the tournaments, and Chris Statlander respects Maya Wall, but did we need them on this? I don't think so. That was just kind of there. Moving on, I did give this next match a dub, but I think that was just purely because of the people involved. And it was a good match. This was the AEW World Trios Championship match with Hangman Adam Page and Brodito versus The Demand.
So I also gave it a dub. However, I am very conflicted.
Actually, no, I'm going to give it a mid because of the ending. Sorry, carry on.
The ending threw me as well, but so I do give it I still will stick with my own evaluation, like initial dub, but it has me very conflicted. So, one, I know why you now took the title off of the conglomeration, why you took the titles off of them, because you don't want to have Brodito and Hangman take on the conglomeration and then have them win. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Having the Demand win, play up the heels, and then lose them. I mean, this was what, a 90 title reign or something like that as well. This is as long as Sammy Davis.
And like I've said it 1,000 times, I don't mind a hot potato belt, but only when it makes sense. This didn't make sense to me.
No. So again, I get it in the sense of, Hangman came out, did all of his promos going, I can't go after that world title. I can't go to the AEW world title. I'm going to go after everything else. I'm going to go after the TNT, the TBS, whatever. He's come after the trios with, again, the most random pairing of people. Like, obviously, we know Brodito is a tag team, but then you throw Hangman Adam Page in there. I don't know if there's history with.
I think it's just because Bandito's the bandit and it's got the cowboy theme to it.
Which is fair enough. But
that's the only reason, I think. But I don't like it because now you've put the Trios Championship with the Ring of Honor World Champion.
Yeah.
So why not just have Bandito drop that belt to somebody and then just have him AEW full time? And then fine. Then it makes all sense in the world. Sure.
And again, but with it as well, I think you could have given the Demand a lot more to go with if you kept the titles on them. I'm not trying to talk myself out of lowering the rate. I did enjoy the match.
Yeah, the match itself was great. I thought the match was excellent.
But again, the Demand, you just gave them the opportunity that they won, and now you've taken it off. So,
and you've also given especially Tawatala.
Tala Leona.
Goddamn. There's too many goddamn.
I know. Yeah, I know. Tala Leona, yeah.
Looked like $1 trillion here. Like the big bruiser dude. I mean, he was taking Brody King to the absolute cleaners at some stage. He looked like awesome. And they have very slowly been pushing Bishop Khan with the Demand a little bit more further to the front with Ricochet. So again, and I think I talked myself out of a dub for the specific reason, because of the finish, but also you're pushing them as big heels, especially like a Bishop Khan in a more speaking role.
Yeah,
I don't want to see the Demand break up. I think they're an absolutely awesome heel trios team. They're really fun to watch. This is the best Ricochet's been since his either NXT Black and Gold or his Prince Puma days.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you would do this now, after they just beat the conglomeration, who they were feuding with for a very long time. That was a big thing for them. And as heels, you want to see them hold it for a little bit longer and smug it up. It's not like you have you do have more heel champions right now in AEW than baby faces, but not an egregious amount.
No, but that's fine.
And that's fine. That's kind of what you want, because especially if you have a big blow off pay-per-view coming up, you kind of want to see a lot of the baby faces finally get their win.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, the match itself is excellent. I really like the match, but I just all the stuff involved in it. I don't know. It smells very vaguely of a little bit of WWE. Like Handman's back, we got to put him in a title picture.
So my thing here is Hangman came back and he went, "Oh, I'm going to go after this, and this because I haven't, or I need to have these type of thing." Are you doing this to make him an AEW version of a Grand Slam champion?
Possibly. I can see that for sure.
Is this going to be a blow off 18 months and then that's it? That's the send off for Hangman Adam Page?
I don't know.
See, you know what I mean? It's a very weird thing to give him this trios title.
Unless they're gonna push them all three of them into more of a sort of kind of like the conglomeration, in a comedic trio sort of situation, because they did do the Macarena halfway through the match before they got absolutely annihilated. So their backstage antics are humorous. You know, like the good.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
should call it like Bandito had a little thing before the match saying like, "Oh, we should call ourselves the good, the bad, and the ugly." And then Hangman was like, "Well, who's the ugly one?" And they both slowly looked at Brody King. He's like,
Yeah,
"Me."
yeah.
So funny stuff. So if you make them like a really like done comedic trios as well, I can see it.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
has a bit more legs than this.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of those times where I'm not sure if AEW had a long-term plan for it.
Fair. Yeah, no, that's true.
You know, which is why I'm going to give this a mid because I love the match, don't like what they did with everything, and I'm not sure how they're going to go, which is nice sometimes. You know, it's not like we want to be able to predict everything,
Yeah,
but we do want it to make sense.
yes, that's the point of it. Like that, and that's what we said. Like we just make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. We said it several times. Although I have to say, Nigel McGuinness was on form this whole match.
Best commentator in the biz right now.
He was on form. Because they were saying whatever the guy's name was, the little guy.
The little guy?
The small, the little guy wrestler all in red. And I can't remember what it said was, and Nigel McGuinness like, I think it means ketchup because he's all dressed in all red. I was like, oh my God, Nigel,
bro.
Nigel. And then he goes,
I forgot about that actually.
Bandito's, it's like Bandito's mask or whatever. He's like, oh no, he's bald with that, bald under that mask. It's a wig. Ricochet told me that.
It's a wig. I did laugh at that. Okay. I did laugh at that.
Again, Nigel McGuinness being absolutely on point.
He's just unhinged.
So good. But yeah, I mean, and I agree with you. Like, I do also have a note here, like you were saying, they pushed Tolo Leona and Bishop Khan as being like this big bruiser powerhouse. This really showed it in this match. Like, I agree with you on that sense. It was unbelievable. And then another way where you say, like, I think the big spot where you pointed that out is when he did this 3-man Samoan drop where they just
I liked how they stacked it as well with that Brody, then Hangman, then Bandito because he's small enough to like get all the way on top. And like he didn't just do it right away.
No,
like
he
stopped to the middle and was like, cool, boom, that was sick.
Like that was crazy. Power, man. Like that is ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying. Like he looked like a $1 billion here. Like it was dope. Like he really looked good. Which again is why I'm like, I'm not sure what the thought process was in dropping the titles now. You know? Unless you want to get Ricochet back into like single stuff and then have because in terms of the tag team division for AEW, it's not thin by any stretch of the imagination, especially with the Motor City Machine Guns coming back into the picture.
Yeah.
But having like a powerhouse heel team, which I don't think you do have right now, could be a thing for that division for the men anyway. Maybe that's where they're going with it, which that could work.
Possibly.
Time will tell, I guess.
Like, it's cool to have the trios champion, like have them all like that. But I agree with you. If you have Ricochet get a singles title and then you have Bishop Khan and Tolo Leona with the tag teams, it sets it up as more because he's always the leader with them having equal titles.
Yeah, it sort of
levels it out, and that's not really what you're going for. He is the leader of these two big.
Yeah, it works with the conglomeration
because there's not one leader.
No, because they're buds.
Yeah,
but so the demand is the demand is Ricochet. You know.
Yeah, so I get with that, and and again coming to that finish, felt very weird. Right now, I did write here. It threw me sideways. Okay, so I get it. You want them all to do their moves, and you set up for the 21 plex, but then you had was it Bishop Khan who ate the pin?
No, I have here that
Tolo
Leona took it because it kind of went like they had him in the. He went for the 21 plex, but couldn't hesitate a little bit, but then he held it for the buckshot.
Yeah, so like obviously they went for it. Like he obviously tried to do the 21 plex, but Tolo Leona was holding on, and then he pulled himself back through the ropes, and obviously Hangman kicked him. That's what got them to the center of the ring and set up
the buckshot.
Like you'd say, the buckshot, because he was holding Bandito's arms outside.
Yeah, it was very weird. It was very strange.
Hangman did the buckshot, then he wrapped his arm back around so that he could do
the German suplex.
Yeah. But the ref counted 4.
I counted 4 too, because he went 1 and then 1, 2, 3. I was like,
And it looked like Tola Leona kicked out on that other like the last 3 count, not like on the 4 count.
It was very.
It threw me sideways because I was like, did he kick out or did they win? Because I just
after he hit the first time, I went 3. I'm like, why are they ringing the bell? And then he did that. I was like, maybe he got his shoulder up, or they were trying to like say that like he got his shoulder up at the last second, but he just missed the count. I wasn't sure.
No, it threw me.
I think there was a bit of miscommunication on what the finish was actually supposed to be. Because for what I would have assumed, especially considering that, is maybe he had his shoulder up, and that's what they were trying to get, but he couldn't because of the way he landed. I don't know. This is all speculation right now.
Yeah, but it threw me sideways like that. Like, because I was like, he counted 4, but even then, it didn't look like a 3 count, and it was very.
It was botchy. Oh, I think we're gonna have to call it. It was a little bit botchy. Yeah.
But at the same time, it wasn't like I'm thinking, Montreal screw job type botch. I'm thinking like, just a completely
Yeah. Look, I mean, maybe it was a case of the crowd because they were on fire the whole night. They were very loud for this match and the finish and stuff.
Sure.
Especially after that triple Samoan drop, like they were out of their seats.
Yeah.
So maybe there was like you couldn't hear nicely. It was just like very, very loud. Again, this is all speculative.
Yeah.
It was a bit weird. Maybe hopefully on like Collision or Dynamite we'll get like a promo from Ricochet saying how they got screwed out of it. I can only assume that's probably what's going to happen.
I can only hope that will be able to happen because let's be honest, if we've noticed that, others will have noticed that.
Speaking of getting screwed, and I wanted to say this earlier, but we got into a few of the other matches. This is just going back to the Willow Nightingale Mercedes trios match with the Divine Dominion and Brawling Birds. We still haven't heard a single goddamn pin from Tekla since she lost.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing. 0.
I'm wondering if it was just so she could take a break or take a holiday, and then maybe she'll come and return at All In or something like that.
But I don't know. Like, I need to find out because I was expecting maybe something, you know, after that match. Sorry, I completely forgot about it as we were talking about.
And I agree with you because, again, a show without Tekla is very boring.
Yeah, exactly. Put her on commentary with Nigel. That was some of the most fun I've ever had.
That was unbelievably brilliant.
Yeah, just her calling everybody a dumb bitch, like a little bit sauced, because she definitely had some of that Prince Nana cup, I think. I think I'm copying what she was drinking.
I'm all for it, man. But no, I agree. And if it was a planned way, oh, I don't know, for them to go, okay, cool, we want to have Willow versus Mercedes because that should be the money, not for me, but that should be the money at All In. Have Tekla come and return and just beat the shit out of whoever wins, like if it's Willow or if it's Mercedes, because Tekla is like, Mercedes Money is technically the heel in this, but Tekla is like the demon heel in this.
Yeah, she's the de facto heel of the women's division right now.
She is the ultimate bad person on that roster.
Yeah.
Her and MJF are like they're like the 2 sides of the same coin.
100%. Yeah, just in the way that they do their heel work. You know, it's super engaging, but it's also scathing at the same time. It's really good. Like, you can't deny that. But
and I think that I'll pop like shit crazy if she's off television and it just arrives at All In.
You and I, like, we're gonna apologize in advance to the people in front and behind us. Those beers are gonna go.
They're gonna go everywhere.
They're gonna go everywhere. It's insane. Look, speaking of beers getting thrown, then we get to our main event of the night, which is the Mexico City street fight with no outside interference. That was very, very, very clearly defined, which was Will Ospreay versus Dunkzilla himself, Mark Davis. So this was the longest match of the night. It was about 20 minutes or just under, I would say.
First of all, I had double dubs up on this.
I gave this the double dubs up. I almost gave this the triple dubs up, and we'll get to it. There is a lot to break down in this match. It's a street fight, so I don't think we need to like go to the nitty gritty. But these two beat the shit out of each other.
First thing I will say, and again, we've said it many a time, WWE, if you are watching, that is how you do a street fight.
Yes.
Let them go anywhere they want. Let them use any weapon that they like.
Yeah.
That's a street fight.
For the first time in my 30 plus years of watching wrestling, I saw a rubber tire being used.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I've never seen that before.
Never seen a tire. And I was like, what are they going to do with it? It's like what you do with a tire in a street fight. You throw it at the dude. I was like, this is great. Like the tire got thrown at Mark Davis. He was like, fine, fuck it. You want to use the tile? Use the tile. And he powerbombed Will Ospreay onto it. It was dope.
Do you know what the thing is? That would have been really fun is if obviously one of them was down in like the corner by the barricade.
Stacked it over the top of him.
No, and just
rolled him down.
Run it and roll it into his crotch, like in the corner or something like that. Like use the tire to do that kind of.
That would have been funny.
Bowling balls or something like that before.
Yeah, that's also true. But I mean, like if you like had them at the top of the ramp and you put it over the top of them like you do with the trash can, and then rolled them down the ramp.
Okay. That would also really work with Will Ospreay. Let's be honest.
It would. I think it would. You know, have Lira Rush pop out of the tire, just you know. But yeah, so I mean, I wrote that down because like I honestly thought that was great because again, I've never seen a tire. This was fun. But yeah, they were outside of the ring. They were backing and forth. In they also went like in terms of the chair shots in here, they were quite brutal. Which it's a street fight. Loved it.
I got here one of the most memorable spots, and again because Excalibur and Nigel alluded to it for a while. Davis powerbombing Ospreay into a fan, I'm assuming was like a security or someone.
It definitely was a plant because if you watch it again, the dude specifically gets up to catch, but I mean, in the blink of an eye, it's like, oh shit, that fan got wiped out.
Yeah, when you see it in first place, oh shit, he's made him into a fan. Like, here comes the lawsuit type thing.
Yeah, exactly. But like, they showed it again, or like they didn't show it again, or like I saw on YouTube or TikTok somewhere, and then it's like, oh, look at this. I'm like, oh no, he specifically stands up and takes a step forward. So I was like, okay, cool. No, it's definitely a plot, but it was great at the time. I was like, oh shit.
And again, it's just a funny shot. It's like funny spots.
Yeah, like, and that's fun because again, like it is a street fight. It is serious. They drew blood, which we knew they were gonna. You know, like quite. Like the hard way, I would say, was like you often see it with like a chair shot and then they're down and then like, oh, they're bleeding, but this was like with barbed wire, so this was
like a whole load of everything. I mean,
yeah,
I know AEW do like to use it, but obviously there was a fork involved.
Yeah, which I'm not a big fan of the fork spot personally. I just think because also like unless you're John Moxley and you say like, no, lodge it into my skull, you can kind of see where they hold the fork and like, you know, over the top, so it looks like it's.
So what got me as well is they used it on each other. I mean, obviously this I think was after they went up the ramp and up the stairs.
Yeah,
but
it was, yeah.
But Mark Davis used it on Ospreay. Then Ospreay used it on Davis, and then Ospreay's like chewing on the end of the fork, which you can see is clean.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden Davis is bleeding. So first of all, you're going, well, then you're just licking someone's blood off of a fork,
which is weird and gross. Yeah. And even if it's not blood, also just the sweat.
Yeah,
somehow that's worse, I think.
I was like, okay, that's a bit.
That's naff. Yeah. I didn't like it. Look, I don't like the fork spot. I think it's a bit dumb, to be perfectly honest. But if you're gonna do it, then like you got to cover it in some blood and then do it. You know.
Because I mean, obviously, like you knew it was also coming as well. Because I don't know if it was before or after that, but when they were up at the top and Davis, they were rumbling up at the top. The whole lot of shenanigans going on.
Like right at the top. So like up the ramp, everybody, there was that staircase. And they went right to the top of the staircase and were brawling there. And then you had Tony Schiavone be like, I hope no one rolls down the staircase or falls because they'll break their neck. And that's exactly what Ospreay did.
And that's what Davis hits Ospreay with like was it like a plywood plank or something like that?
Yeah, it was just it was literally plywood, like a prefab wall.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like something like that. It just
shattered
over his head. And then he rolls down the stairs, and you're like, "Well, thanks for that, Tony."
Yeah, like foreshadow, like, subtlety. Tony. We kind of expected one of them to fall down. We didn't even be told it was going to happen. I did like it though. I will say, like that prefab, because like when he hit Will Ospreay over the head with that prefab, it didn't just break; it like exploded, which is always a great visual. And I guess because it's prefab, it has dust on it, so it also like it has this like smoky illusion thing going. So it looked visually very, very cool.
Very.
I will say, and look, it's a staircase. I'm not going to fault anybody for how you go down it. It did look a little bit goofy how Ospreay went down it though.
I mean,
I couldn't do it any better. Definitely not. I know for a fact. I walked down the staircase and then twisted my ankle slightly. So you know, I get it. You got to do it as safe as possible. But maybe a different angle of the camera, you know, like from the top, not the bottom, where you can see him roll into it, because he was slowing himself down. But fair enough, it's a staircase.
And he sort of like grabbed half the wall so that he could literally slow himself down. And then arms everywhere to stop himself. It was just...
But again, no disrespect, Will Ospreay, mean bump, you're a champion for taking it, my dude, because I wouldn't have done it.
But it was a lot of it was again. I will say I think Mark Davis was on the upper hand for most of this match.
But yeah, this match is sort of built for his sort of his character. You know, he's the big bruiser. You know, he's the enforcer of the Don, or one of the enforcers, one of the many enforcers of the Don Callis family. It really reminds me of the Invasion Survivor Series, where Vince was like, I'm just going to play into what everyone tells me to and just have the biggest dudes on my team. I'm going to have Undertaker, Kane, you know, Stone Cold, like big, like 6 foot plus dudes on my team, and Chris Jericho, you know, because he was the former Undisputed Champ. And Dark Cat's like, I'm just going to have 5 of the biggest dudes, you know, Doug Zillow, Lance Archer, Brian Cage, you know, Jake Doyle. He's like bigger is better. Good for you. Listen, not knocking it. I'm just saying there's a pattern, Don. Yeah. There's a clear pattern.
We kind of see where you're going.
We kind of see where you're going with it. But yeah, so we had the fork spot, which obviously drew blood from everywhere. Then we had the barbed wire covering every aspect of this match. Like Will Ospreay tried to wrap it around his elbow to do the hidden blade with the barbed wire. There was a lot of raking. This looked painful when Mark Davis got his hands on that barbed wire and started raking Will Ospreay's back. And you could actually see as he was raking, the blood start to pop out. I was like, oh shit, that must have hurt.
Yeah, because I've seen obviously Maven talking about how they make it safe for them to use. So they basically just, when they wrap it, they cut the ends to such a level that it's not supposed to hurt. Again, loose wires are always going to be there, or loose pieces. So you can't like say it's 100% safe using it. They make it look dangerous for us, but they know they cut it and bent it in such a way that it's technically safe.
Yeah.
But again, like you see a spot like that, you go, okay, we know it's done in a way that it's technically safe for them, but Jesus, you can still see the blood and everything. You can still see the marks and the blood and whatever coming out.
It's not often you hear like a Mexican crowd go, you know, because they showed that obviously on the screens and stuff. And even I was like, oh my days, blood.
Oh my God.
Oh my days. Listen, Mark Davis fucked up here though, big time.
Mm-hmm.
Because this obviously pissed Will Ospreay off to such a level that he finally rallied back, and now they're on the outside of the apron, right? Davis celebrated. He's basically, well, that's actually where he did it. He started raking his back on the outside of the apron with the barbed wire. He up in arms. He celebrates. Yeah, I did this to Will Ospreay, your boy Will Ospreay, the GOAT, the Billy Goat himself. Will Ospreay was like, bruv. And he grabbed his dick and twisted.
Grab his dick and twisted.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It's an MMA fight. Twist his dick. Listen, I almost fell off my couch watching this because Kazi and I must make that joke every podcast because it's so funny. It's such a memorable like meme from like back in the day. Oh, and every time we see a fight, especially when it comes to a DQ match, no DQ match, or a street fight, or so why don't you just grab his dick and twist it? Apparently, Will Ospreay watches the podcast because he was like, you know what, boys, I'm going to do it just for you.
Oh, that was absolute gold, man.
It was so great. Like Davis's face, because I mean, he didn't like it didn't look like he grabbed like again. Mark Davis is wearing like tidy whities over here, the speedo ass. You know, big men like that should wear trunks, kind of, you know, when you see it. And, like, he got a fistful of dollars then. It was, goddamn, like, he had hold of that then. I was like, he must be watching a lot of, like, Dalton Castle matches from Ring of Honor, you know, something.
Yeah.
Because this was what, it was not on my bingo card to actually see someone do that, ever.
No.
You know?
Not on any kind, even in a street fight.
Not even in like, you know, pro wrestling. Like, we see a lot of dumb shit, for sure. And I know there was, like, in the indies, a guy whose, like, whole gimmick was that. But not on, like, international TV.
No.
Again, I'm not saying don't do it again, because hilarious. Well done.
Oh, fantastic.
Again, it took me for such a loop that I was like, I can't believe that actually just happened. And then obviously the crowd was also like really like enjoying it because they were like starting to like cheer like crazy for it, which was dope. But yeah, obviously that took Mark Davis out because after that, I mean, the rest of the match was basically a hidden blade 1-2.
No, hold on. I have to bring this back to it, right?
Sure.
After that, when they end up on the outside, after the whole apron scene.
Oh, he's fighting with the ball driver. Right.
Yeah, he hits the pilot, but then he's on the outside. This is a no DQ match. And they were out for how long? And then he starts counting Mark Davis.
Yeah, it's not a
Look,
again. It's
this-
not. It's not
this threw
it's
me.
not a last man standing match.
No, but
It's a
he
street
starts
fight.
counting Mark Davis. But this is what threw me. Because he gets to like 9 and Davis is still on the floor and he's like tapping him, kicking him, going, get the fuck up and get in the ring. I'm like, no, you shouldn't even be at this point because it's not a last man standing and it's a street fight.
It's a street fight.
No count outs.
Like the only way you win is a pin.
Like, stop fucking counting him. What is the point? Like, why? That really annoyed me. So I was pissing myself. And then this happened because I was still laughing from the grab his dick.
That's why he was down for so long. He was like, no, my dick hurts.
And I was just like, but then that whole thing happened and it threw me for a loop. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? I genuinely was like, what? This is consistency. We've spoken about consistency
all the time.
And I get this leeway and stuff, but it's a street fight. It doesn't matter how long they're outside the ring. And like you said, it's not a last man standing.
No.
If he's lying down for 25, 30 seconds, 2 minutes, I don't care.
They say at the start of the match, the only way you win is by pinfall or submission. Why are you counting?
I was like, okay, just where is the consistency? Why is
maybe the ref was just like, all right, we're running out of time. I'm going to count you so you get your ass. And maybe that.
But even then, he got to he's like 9, and then he's like tapping him and kicking him. Like, I should be saying 10 here. And then all of a sudden, Davis gets up and he rolls in, and that's where the hidden blade spot comes.
Yeah, fair. That is fair. It was a bit jarring. It didn't make a lot of sense, to be honest.
No.
But look, beyond that, who knows? This was obviously, again, I think Davis probably missed his spot or something. Maybe he did twist his ball or something. I don't know. He was just like, no. Maybe he was saying like, no, just call it. Like, I'm done. I'm not gonna have children anymore. Like, just call the street fight off. But anyway, so we got a hidden blade and a 1-2 Davis kick out. I didn't like this because I felt like that could have been the end of it, especially after the spike pile driver, the dick twist, and he was out on the, again, I guess you could say, because he was on the outside for so long that he recovered, but I wasn't too happy with that. But then you did get Will Ospreay getting him up for a Stormbreaker, which is very impressive.
Yeah.
Mark Davis is a big motherfucker. But he didn't get it like fully. Mark Davis broke out. There's a crucifix, near fall, 6 blah, 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 blah. Again, this was just like your standard sort of Will Ospreay finish to a match.
Yeah.
A few counters here and there. Eventually, Davis did get his arm like wrapped in the barbed wire for that rebound lariat, which looked pretty cool.
Yep.
I did like that. And then Styles Clash, also very impressive to get Mark Davis up for a Styles Clash, because obviously Ricochet got hit by the lariat but flipped out of it, and then Styles Clash.
And then it was
another 2 counts, and then then Ospreay went on the big offensive. He was doing the Iranian elbows, like it was like really wailing on him. Just violence, yeah. At this stage, I think it was like he pushed him to the edge, like I had you, like go down. Put the barbed wire around Davis's head, hidden blade, pinfall.
Yeah. I mean, it was like I just wrote, it was just a wild finish. Like,
it was it wasn't a long sequence of like things to get there because it was quick, it was very fast paced. I do think it probably didn't need all of it.
No, and again, he did look very violent at the end, and they were saying like, is this what he learned from the Death Riders? Like, he had to go to another level to beat Mark Davis, because Mark Davis was just not staying down.
Yeah. Plus, also, I mean, they have history. They are friends, so doing this to a former friend probably was also led into it. So I think in terms of that sort of in-ring storytelling, cool. Very happy with that. I kind of expected Kenny to come down after the match.
Yeah, I expected some sort of shenanigan.
I would say shenanigan, but just like a face-off or something, But we didn't get that. Look, still, this match gets a double dubs up for me. This was a dope street fight. This was one of the best street fights I would say in a long time, but I mean, this is like the 5th street fight this year that AEW has done that has been amazing.
And again, like my mind just still hoppers back to the Briscoe Ciampa one. Like that's
number one. That's still
the most impressive, violent, fun, wild street fight I've seen in a long
time. I mean, that's still, I would say, in my top 3 matches of the year at this stage. Obviously, we'll
cover that later.
Do our tops and stuff probably towards the end of the year. But I mean, look, this is dope. I gave overall Grand Slam Mexico a double dubs up. There were a couple of matches that didn't need to be there that were mid, but the really good outshone the mid by a country mile. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, was a very, very good show.
And yeah, so I guess, I mean, after that, obviously that was it. We didn't get anything from Kenny or anything like that. Again, because it was a what you call it,
Technically,
it was a dynamite, but
it was a dynamite,
just
but
because it was
fancy dynamite.
A fancy dynamite. But we didn't get a lot of storytelling beats throughout the show. No backstage, not a lot of backstage segments anyway that like developed anything. So just a fun sort of, again, this is what I thought Redemption was going to be, whereas Redemption became like its own pay-per-view.
Yeah,
I feel like if Redemption was like this, also 2.5 to 3 hours, then it probably would have been a bit better.
Yeah.
But overall, double dubs up for me. Grand Slam Mexico, I enjoyed it.
I'm with you. It was a really, really good show, and even if it was not considered a PPV, still a great show.
Still a great show. I absolutely enjoyed it. But yes, you let us. I mean, we've talked your ear off, everybody. So you let us know in the comments what you thought about Grand Slam, where you think everything's going, what you thought about the demand, where is Tekla? Any other questions or thoughts you might have, drop it in there. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, bell, stuff. Internet
all of it.
All the things. Ghazi, when will we be back, brother?
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning. We'll be recapping Raw and Smack It Down.
Smack it down.
Back in the group. Is there a collision this weekend?
I believe there might be.
Not sure.
I can't be certain. If there is, obviously we'll incorporate that somehow.
At some point, yeah, we'll see.
At some point,
we'll see if anything actually
now it's
happens.
more like tomorrow's more. Well, the next one is more about the sort of aftermath
of SummerSlam. Yeah,
and what we have next.
100%. Yeah, normally we would do like the Raw after SummerSlam or a big PLE, but we thought, considering it's so split between SmackDown and Raw, rather see what happens on SmackDown as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will see you then tomorrow, everybody. Ghazi, it's been a pleasure as always.
Appreciate it. It's always been good. It's always fun to do these.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll check you tomorrow.
Always remember, everybody, stay too sweet.
Too sweet.